So I think it's just a good idea that we compare the writing experience on an iPad Pro 10.5 inch with ProMotion display 120 hertz and an Apple Pencil versus a regular notebook and my pen of choice, Pilot G2. So let's just start, I guess, with the writing test on paper. All right, so here we go. So this is me writing on paper. And so when you're writing on paper, obviously there's a little bit of friction between your pen, especially with kind of a fine point pen like the Pilot G2. It's not very smooth when I write, which I really enjoy. I enjoy that there's that friction, that you're really feeling like you're writing on something and not like your pen is just, slipping away from you. You want to use like a regular pen, just like an ordinary pen, not like a Pilot G2 gel pen. We can try it too. See, this has a little bit more, it's a little bit more fluid, a little bit smoother, but it still has quite a bit of friction to it. Your pen isn't slipping away from you. So that's just kind of a baseline. So let's just jump into the iPad. Now, people always ask, well, first things I need to address, yes, there are fingerprints on the iPad. There are going to be fingerprints on your iPad because it's an iPad. You're touching it all the time. So it's going to get fingerprints on it, obviously. And yeah, it can get annoying and you have to clean it. But, it is what it is. Also, I do write in portrait mode. I think this is a lot more natural because I think I've compared this before. But if you look at it, like with a notebook, this is like, how you would write in a notebook. You wouldn't write like, in landscape mode like this. So I do write in portrait mode. It feels very notebook-esque. It feels a lot more comfortable in my opinion. Okay, and here's that Apple Pencil. Now, okay, so I do have a grip on it, right? And it's just a grip from an old pen I had, like a really cheap pen I found in my room. So I just ripped off the grip and I stuck it on here, and it fits really nicely. And this is improving the writing experience a lot. So I'll first do it without the grip to see if you just had the Apple Pencil what it feels like. Now immediately what you notice is when you hold it in your hand, it's weighted first of all. There's a little bit of weight in the back which feels really nice when you're writing. Also the surface of the pencil is really gloss. It has like a glossy finish on it which makes it kind of slippery, but it also feels really nice in the pen. Like you can draw and paint with it. It feels really fluid. Like a paintbrush almost. It's really smooth, and the lines just come out like effortlessly. So for art, that's really nice. Now let's look at in terms of writing, because I'm not an artist. I need to take notes. I need to be productive. I want this to look like my handwriting on paper and feel like paper. So let's just start writing. Okay, so immediately what you can kind of tell is in order to write with Apple Pencil, your letters have to kind of connect a little bit because it's just so smooth when you write on here. There's not that much friction like there is on paper that it's just natural for you to want to connect your letters to write normally, which in my opinion isn't really that nice. I don't like connecting my letters. I want it to be very, like separated like it is on here. But what you have to do though is essentially what I found is, well, there are two tricks that I use. First thing is that I lift the pencil up more frequently when I'm writing, which feels a little bit strange at first, but like if you were to do that on paper, it might feel a little bit strange, but when you do it on the iPad, it feels pretty natural. And you do hear a little bit more of a clicking sound then when you start writing, but it's really soft in my opinion. It's not obnoxious. Also, and then your letters aren't connected. So let me try that again, showing you how I usually write on the iPad Pro. And I don't know if you can notice, but my pencil, I lifted up the Apple Pencil way more frequently that time than I did the first time. And now you can look in here and you see that my M and E aren't connected, my W and R aren't connected. It's a lot more separated. And that's just how I like to write. you might like writing connected and fluid in a very fluid motion, and I think that's fine. Then you will definitely love the Apple Pencil on the iPad. But you can definitely tell that it's like you're writing on glass, right? So it's gonna be really smooth, and there's very little friction at all. So let me erase that. Now, I still wasn't completely satisfied with the way that felt, because this thing right now, my hands are a little bit dry, and it's kind of muggy, so it's kind of, the pencil's kind of sticking to my hands right now. But usually the pencil is very slippery, and it just slips through your fingers a little bit. So I really needed something to grip on it to feel more like a pen or a pencil, right? Like an actual pencil. So this is where the grip comes in. And to me, once I put the grip on, it's like the perfect writing experience, in my opinion. So let me write again. Oops. Oh, by the way, the app I'm using is Notability. I just made a video about it, and if you want to check that out, you can. I just released it. Well, at the time of this video, I think I just released it 2 days ago. I compared it to OneNote, which is also a note-taking app that I use frequently. Okay, so, oops, I forgot the me. So when I'm writing like this, I actually prefer this writing experience to writing on pen and paper, because it offers, first of all, the perfect amount of fluidity, so I can write fast yet still have my letters separated. There's not the friction between the tip and the paper that you get usually when you're writing in a notebook. Especially with a Pilot G2, sometimes it's really hard for me to write fast and maintain the type of handwriting that I like without making. Look, this isn't like that neat, but it's neat enough for me. If I start writing too fast with this, I have to start connecting my. It's not smooth enough, and I had to start connecting my letters, and it doesn't look that neat. But with the iPad, you can write faster because there's not that much friction, and still maintain a pretty decent handwriting in terms of neatness. So your handwriting can still remain pretty neat, which I think is, pun intended, pretty neat. So that's why I actually prefer writing with the Apple Pencil on the iPad than I prefer writing with a pen and paper. So like when I'm writing with pen and paper, sometimes since I'm writing, so trying to keep my hand and my handwriting so neat. But the thing is, sometimes that really hurts my hand after a while, because I'm writing for a long time and I'm trying to keep my handwriting legible, and eventually my hand starts hurting. But with the iPad Pencil, the thing is, the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro, the thing is that since it is fluid, like I said, but it also has enough grip on it, and I still lift my pencil frequently enough that my hand doesn't get as fatigued when I'm writing, which may just be me, but I think that could be really helpful for people who can't write for that long periods of time, because this will just kind of write itself for you. If you don't mind, like, it can really start writing itself for you if you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of legibility, or connecting your characters or your letters. So I'll give you an example. So if I'm just saying, if I'm in a rush and I just need to write really quickly, see, like, my O and the N connect so fluidly, and again, like I said, it's sacrificing. Well, in this case, it's sacrificing. I think that it's sacrificing a lot of legibility, but for some people, they may not mind this at all. It's still legible, but it's just not as nice looking, um, in my opinion. Of course, your opinion may differ from mine, but I think that the fact that it helps with my hand fatigue, I think, is really nice. So that's why I prefer the iPad. The Apple Pencil, not the iPad Pencil. I prefer the Apple Pencil on the iPad Pro, the writing experience. Now, this doesn't just go for any iPad or any iPad Pro either. It specifically goes for the ones released in 2017, or if you're seeing this after, like, when newer ones are released, any iPad released after 2017, any iPad Pro, I guess I should say, released after 2017, and actually, it just goes with any device with 120 hertz, I guess is what I should say, because the ProMotion display, which is a terrible name, by the way, but the ProMotion display on the iPad means that it has 120 hertz refresh rate. So the latency of the Apple Pencil, basically the lag on the screen, is very little. It's only 20 millimeters, which is insane. It's 1 millimeter faster, or 1 millimeter less, has a 1 millimeter less lag than the new Surface Pro that is out right now. That latency reduction, on iPad Pros with 120 hertz. So that's the 10.5 model right now, and the 12.9 released in 2017 are the ones that have this ProMotion display, and that is what really makes it seem like there's like no lag at all. I can still notice it a little bit, and I really hate lag. But it's really hard to notice even for me, which is saying a lot because I'm very picky when it comes to that. I had a Surface Pro 3 before coming to this, and I know this isn't a fair comparison, but I had a Surface Pro 3, and coming from that, this is like a gigantic improvement. But I can still detect, the lag. It's not completely fluid, like you're actually writing, but it's so close that, like in my opinion, it's close enough. Obviously, I hope they reduce it a little bit more in the future, but I'm 100% satisfied with this right now. So if you want even more friction though on your iPad, if you really don't like the fluid, glassy feel that you get, which I actually have come to enjoy a lot, you can get a screen protector for your iPad. So you can get a screen protector, specifically a matte screen protector, not a glossy one, but you can get a matte screen protector for your iPad. And basically what that's going to do is going to add a little bit more tooth to your writing experience. So when you're writing, you're going to feel a little bit more friction. It's going to feel a little bit more like paper. Now, the reason you may be asking why I don't have that, because the closer to paper experience, the better. But the reason I don't have a screen protector, well, there are two reasons. First of all, I don't really like screen protectors because it's on your beautiful screen, and then when the touch experience just isn't the same. I really like touching the actual glass. Second reason why I didn't get one is because I've heard that the screen protector can really reduce the clarity of your display. And the iPad Pro has such a beautiful display on it, I really didn't want to sacrifice that just so that I can have a little bit more friction when I'm writing, especially since I've come to enjoy writing just the way it is, with a grip, and lifting my pencil a little more frequently. But that's about it. That's basically how the Apple Pencil compares to writing on a sheet of paper. And I hope this was helpful, and it kind of informs your decision on what if you want to get an iPad as a note-taking device. The best thing I can say, I think, is to just go to a Best Buy or an Apple store, or maybe Target. I'm not sure if they have the Apple Pencil for use, but really try it out. Try the new models. I would definitely go check that out and make the decision for yourself. But if you have checked it out but you're still unsure, then I would suggest getting a grip and trying the technique that I suggested to make your Apple Pencil experience a lot more paper-like without having to get a screen protector and a whole bunch of different accessories for your beautiful device. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.